What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick, and I hope you guys are doing well whenever you're checking out the latest video here on the YouTube page. Today, my friends, we got another fantastic TV-related video for you guys, and as you can see, we are not doing this one solo because it has been way too long, gentlemen, since we have done a collab here in person with two of the best TV channels here on YouTube, both linked in the description. We got my brother Matt here from Cartoon Lover Productions and our buddy Mike from Mike's Talks and Thoughts. You guys know them, you love them, and we're back here to do another TV collab. This one actually inspired by some fellow creators on TikTok, of all platforms. We have been recently inspired by one of the biggest TV trends that have been going on the platform here that Mike was actually the one to kind of introduce to us here. Mock drafts, as we're calling it here, with TV categories. Essentially, 2 or 3 guys gather around and you pick different categories based on TV, and you pick different items within those categories to make the best set of 5 that you can amongst one another here. We want you guys to vote in the comments for who you think has the best overall set here throughout the video. We have a lot of variety to get through here with characters, different shows. We got streaming services as one of the categories, TV actors and actresses. It's going to be very competitive, but a lot of fun as well, and always for good TV discussion here. I'm going to send the floor over to these guys if there's anything they'd like to add in the intro here before we actually get started. Anything you guys want to say here?
One thing I want to say in the comments section below, I know Nick had mentioned to talk about your favorite overall set, but also do by category. See who won each category and give us an explanation why, and maybe some of your favorite shows.
Yeah, definitely, because this is just, all what we do on YouTube between the 3 of us is just to have good discussion, good, commentary on TV, because that's what we love to say. So, gentlemen, are you guys ready to get into it here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. So what we have here, we have 10 different rounds that we're going to do, all chopped up on little strips here on paper. We got the Him Yim hat, by the way, here as the... little holder for it here. And for each round here, whoever draws first will be able to start it off. So I'm going to pass the torch on to Mike here. He's going to draw our first category. Let's see what we got here.
The first one here we have is Best Nickelodeon Show.
Oh, this is perfect to start it off here, because this is one that I see on TikTok all the time here. All right, so Mike, you know the drill. Yep. Give us your first take here.
So for me, I think there's actually 2 different ways I can go with this. The 2 clear-cut top ones, but for me, my first pick, give me Drake and Josh here. Ooh. Drake and Josh, best live action to me in the Nickelodeon sphere.
That's a tough. That was not the one I expected you to say. So you opened the gates a little bit here. Matt, right. Go ahead, pick your next one.
For me, I'm going to go with an oddball here. I'm going to go with the Rugrats spinoff, All Grown Up. Wow. Because I've been watching that a lot lately, and that show is amazing. So
that's a super bold pick.
That is that's first round
for the first pick here. So I'm in actually a prime position here, because how we set this up, by the way, is whoever starts, they'll go around the table here, and then whoever's last to start here will get the first pick for the second block of 3 here. So I actually get my first 2 picks here. For the first one here, the obvious one that I thought one of you guys would say at least is going to be SpongeBob. So I'm going to go with that. I mean, that seems maybe not the most obvious, all things considered, but for our generation, totally. Mm-hmm. And then for number 2 here, I can't believe you guys left this one out too. I got to go with iCarly, man. I mean, I've been watching a lot of it recently. iCarly, one of the best live action shows from who shall not be mentioned on this channel for obvious reasons, but still an awesome show, no doubt. All right, it swings back over to Matt here for his second pick.
All right, for me, I'm going to go with another oddball. I'm going to go with Chalk Zone here.
Ooh, interesting. Damn, Matt pulling out the deep cuts here for the first round. I respect it, but I wonder how that's going to bode in the comments there. I have to see.
So I'm back here with 2 picks, and I think I really strong ones here. First one here, I'm going to go with Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, an absolute childhood classic that everyone loves and was so nostalgic back in the day. And my other pick here, give me Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of the most praised shows of all time, like one of the IMDb darlings for sure. Everyone loves it. It's so well acclaimed. Aang, Zuko, I've heard so many great things about that show, and just the praises are through the roof. Gotta go Avatar.
That's a good one.
All right, for me, another very obscure one, Cat Scratch. Cult classic, though. Check it out. For
Matt
sure.
is giving everyone some suggestions.
Dude, I love how Matt is just like opening the door here because he knows the competitive categories are here to come.
Yeah.
So he's playing it smart. He's choosing not dumb picks, but he's leaving the door open so that we don't expect too much out of him. All right, so me with the next two here. For number 3 here, I'm going with another classic sitcom that they had, Victorious.
Yep.
That's going to be my next one. In the same vein as iCarly, pretty much as far as the reasons taking it for our generation. And then for number 4, more recent here, actually the most recent show that we've mentioned up until this point, I'm going to go with Side Hustle. Not a very well-known show, but for the people who know it, they absolutely love it, man. It doesn't have many, votes out there on places like IMDb, but when it does, man, it hits the 8s, sometimes even in the 9s there. Really, really solid cult show, in my opinion. So that'll be my number 4 here. Back over to Matt now.
Alright, next one, Danny Phantom, another
very
great
underrated
show in the same universe as all the timeline as all these other ones.
Yeah, that's a really smart one. For
Great.
Butch Hartman, I would say
yeah.
probably one of the
Yeah.
best ones. So
You
get the
with,
final two
with my
here.
final 2 picks of my picks here for the first category, sticking with the theme of Butch Hartman, I'm going to take The Fairly Odd Parents, another really great show that Butch Hartman ran, and really great, again, classic show on Nickelodeon. And I'm going to take here the last big show from Schneider, of course, Zoe 101. This is another one that just hit really well in the 2000s, along with iCarly, Drake, and Josh Victorious.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that as my last pick.
Those are safe picks for sure,
Yeah.
but safe but reliable ones.
Alright,
Matt,
last
how you
one
gonna
for
round
me,
it
I'm
out?
gonna go with Hey Arnold here, another classic show that everyone's probably heard of more than these other ones.
I like that. Yeah, definitely sticking with the '90s theme you got going on there. So to round this one out, as legendary of a channel Nickelodeon can be, you got to go back to the one that kind of predated all of the live-action sitcoms and was kind of the genesis for it all. Give me all that here to round it out here, man. Classic sketch comedy. You got so many iconic names from it. It really was kind of the big bang for Nickelodeon live-action show. So that is going to be my final pick here. So on screen now, you can see all 3 of our rosters here for the 5. Let us know again in the comments who took the first round here with the Nickelodeon shows. All right, as we reset here, Matt will be drawing first here for round number 2. So go ahead and pick from the hat here. No hesitation. I love it.
Alright, we got best streaming services.
Nice. Mixing it up a little bit here. So Matt, you can go first on this one. So what is your
so
first?
For me, I'm not
pick
going to
gonna
play bold. I'm just going to go with what I like here because there's not that many great streaming services. Got to go with Hulu on the first one here.
Yeah, reliable here. It's pretty much the only one that hasn't been barred by any controversies
Yeah,
as such.
pretty much.
Yeah, see, this is a tough one to get around because some of the bigger ones have kind of been on a downward spiral a little bit. And the one that I'm picking is definitely part of that group, but you got to go Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty undeniable. They definitely just had the longevity here as far as just what you think first as far as streaming. That's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, and so for me, I gotta take another really big heavy hitter here in HBO Max. Another really big one that just everyone knows about and is so big and popular. And my next pick here, moving into the second round, I'm gonna take Peacock. I think there's a lot of great underrated sitcoms that are on there. They have like all the NBC content, which is amazing archive of stuff, and even some of their original shows can be good, but the archive is what really carries Peacock.
Damn, I did not expect you to pull out the Peacock card so early, but I like it. For my number 2, I'm going with an up-and-comer here, Apple TV Plus. Absolutely, man. I think they have become extremely competitive in the awards circuit with Ted Lasso. That's really their flagship show. They actually won the Oscar also with Coda. That's a movie, of course, but still part of their lineup there. And they just have a lot of potential here. That's really the one thing about Apple that they've really kind of been, putting forward marketing here is just how they're big names that they can draw because Apple's such a big company. They got money to burn, so they're definitely going to be a strong one in the next few years.
All right, for me, my next one, I'm going to go with another one that's probably going to make a lot of money in the next couple of years. It's going to definitely rival out Netflix and everything like that. Paramount Plus. You know it, you love it. All the Paramount stuff, all the Nickelodeon stuff, just there for people to watch. And then my next one, I'm actually going to go in a different direction here. I'm going to go with BritBox on this one. Just because that's one that no one's ever heard of and no one really knows much about, but people that love it, they absolutely love it. If you're into all the Downton Abbey, Call the Midwife type shows, then it's just your bread and butter right there.
I didn't even have that on my list, so I'm glad you got that one out of the way for us. Yeah. For my third pick here behind Netflix and Apple, I think I'm going to go with. Let me think here. I think I'm going to take Disney Plus. I'm not the biggest fan of it, admittedly, but it just has the numbers behind it. It's like the second or third biggest of all these streaming services. I know Netflix is at the top, and Amazon might be above it a little bit, but not by much. And they have, the name recognition. That's what you get with Disney Plus. You got the Marvel stuff, you got Star Wars. It's just franchise stuff that people know and love.
Mm-hmm. All right, so for me here, with it being passed up, I'm going to take Amazon Prime here. Very, very top of the food chain sort of streaming service here, and one that I think a lot of people, of course, have been put onto. And my next pick here, it's going to be one that I think a lot of people think is underrated and not a lot of people know about it because it's free, and that's Freevee. I think they got a lot of great original shows on there and archives as well. They do a lot of great big shows that they have that you can watch all of them for free, so got to go with Freevee there.
Yeah, Mr. Jeff Bezos talking. You got the two Amazon-owned services next.
Yeah.
For my number 4, this is a pretty easy one at this point since we got all the major ones out of the way. I'm going to go with YouTube Premium. Not a lot of people know that YouTube was actually responsible for some of the biggest dramas and some of the biggest shows in general of the 2010s and the 2020s, such as Cobra Kai. Actually started on YouTube the first season there before it got picked up by Netflix. And they just have, a good track record of just, again, the name recognition there, bringing in big stars. Obviously not as competitive as something like Netflix, but they're just working their way up there, and I can definitely respect it.
All right, for my last two here, I'm going to go with 2 free ones that have not been said yet. I'm going to go number 1, Tubi, one of the best of the free library, and then also Pluto TV here, another great one that has a lot of old sitcoms on there as well as classic Hollywood pictures, so definitely going with those 2.
Nice. To round out my list with my number 5, Facebook Watch, 100%. Facebook, again, with the name recognition there. Pretty underrated shows, I would say. Red Table Talk is obviously their big money maker there. That's pretty good. But you also have some underrated comedies like The Real Bros of Simi Valley with Cody Ko is really funny. They just have a niche, audience behind it. But hey, if you're looking for something new to watch that not a lot of people have talked about, definitely check it out. There's some good stuff on there.
Yeah, and for my final pick here, I can't believe this one made it this far because it concludes some of the best shows ever made. AMC Plus, give me AMC Plus. You have Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead. So many bangers on that streaming service. It might not have as much variety as the others, but the top of the top, it might be up there with some of the best ever. So
that's fair. That's a fair play. You also have Slippin' Jimmy. I just want to point that out to you.
Slippin' Jimmy is not canon.
We got to make that perfectly clear for everybody. Slippin' Jimmy. All right, for round 2 here, these are the results for the best streaming services. Take your pick in the comments who took the W for this round. All right, 2 rounds in. We have 8 more to go here. I'm up next to get the first draw here. And for round number 3, the category is going to be the best game shows here. Now, this is a different category because normally we talk about scripted shows on this channel, comedies and dramas and such. We don't really talk about game shows all that much. So this is going to be a different one for the 3 of us to kind of have a discussion around. But for me, guys, there's one obvious one that I think is pretty much universally agreed as the best game show. Give me Family Feud. There's no doubt about it. Any era of Family Feud has some awesome moments behind it. Of course, the current iteration with Steve Harvey is the top-rated game show when it comes to viewership for a reason, man. It is just comedy gold there. Absolutely undeniable stuff.
And for my first pick here for game shows, I'm going to go with another big heavyweight in Jeopardy. Yeah. Jeopardy is such a classic. Alex Trebek, RIP, such a great host, and just such a great game show that might go on forever.
Yeah, totally. How do you feel about Maya Bialik stepping in?
I think she's pretty good, but nothing will ever beat Alex Trebek as the host. No one will ever top him.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so for me, first one, I'm going to go with a really obscure one that not a lot of people remember, but is still great nonetheless. 1 versus 100.
Damn, I had that on my list, bro.
Absolutely amazing.
Dude, Matt
definitely
just fucking cutting up.
It.
Yeah.
And then a second one, I'm going to go with another classic one, a Chain Reaction.
Yeah.
Very nostalgic show. definitely check it out if you have not seen it yet.
GSN Originals there. I mean, GSN, obviously it's in the name, right? Game Show Network. Yeah, those are really solid picks. Matt might have the advantage here.
All right, so for me here, I'm going to go with another classic one here. This is definitely going to hit for the 2000s kids. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Jeff Foxworthy. This was one that I was always tuning into, it seemed like, as a kid. It was so fun to watch. And it was like, these fifth graders, man, they were so freaking smart. It's like, I didn't learn any of this in fifth grade.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's another one that's gotten, different iterations and such, different hosts, and, has really stood the test of time as well. For my next pick, actually my next two picks here, I definitely got to take the other Merv Griffin show. Mike said Jeopardy earlier, but I got to take Wheel of Fortune here. Wheel is awesome. Pat Sajak is an absolute legend as well with the host. And then for number 3 here, probably next to Family Feud, my personal favorite game show of all time, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
No doubt about it. That's another one that just absolutely captured the world when it first came out as one of the top rated shows for such a long time. And R.I.P. Regis, man, super underrated. Just a great personality to have on TV there. Sending it back to Mike here.
All right, so for my next pick here, I'm going to go with, man, there's so many great options still to choose from, but I'm going to go with Catch 21. This is a very underrated show. Alfonso Ribeiro as the host here, of course, mainly known from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but he does really great work on this show. Just such a fun watch.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go with another one that they used to play on Bounce a lot, along with Catch 21, The Newlywed Game. Absolute classic. It just can't get enough of that show. And then a second one here, I'm going to go with something completely different here. I'm going to go with Match Game on this one. Absolute classic. Some of the funniest moments in game show history are from the OG years of Match Game, so...
Match Game is super iconic. I've gotten a little sick of it personally because at me and Mike's work, they played it all the time, and I'm not sure. I know you remember that. So.
All right, so another one. I really like picking these underrated game shows, and one that I think that is really going to pop off here, and I've really been enjoying every night at 6 o'clock. People Puzzler here, the show hosted by Leah Remini. A lot of crazy, weird, wacky contestants that make it fun, and one that you can easily play along with.
All right, for my last two picks here, closing it out with my number 5. I'm surprised that no one said this one and it actually got this far into the game because this was actually featured in one of Mike's recent videos. I'm going with Deal or No Deal here. That was actually on his list too, I remember, of his favorite game shows, and Howie Mandel, man. I mean, say what you will about him, but he's a fun personality, man. He really brought the best out of people, and it's a very simple idea for a game. It doesn't revolve around a lot of strategy here, but it's just a lot of fun to see these people take home a ton of money here. Of course, the models, of course, that was one of the gimmicks too. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, Deal or No Deal here. And then for my last one, I'm going to go in the theme of these guys as well with some more underrated game shows. Monopoly Millionaires Club. This is a show that very few people know, but the ones that do love Monopoly, like me, absolute goldmine here for entertainment. And it was hosted by Billy Gardell of Mike and Molly, one of my favorite sitcoms ever. So this is right up my alley here, closing out my list of 5.
All right, and for my last pick here, I'm going to go with Pyramid, whether it's the $100,000 Pyramid, 25, 50, whatever amount of money it was at. Such a classic game show and one that, so fun to play along with and so agitating as well when you're screaming like what the answer is, but one of the classics.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, I don't think this was mentioned in the Nickelodeon round, so I'm going to go with Brain Surge on this one. One of the best game shows of all time, besides Family Feud, of course, but still absolute nostalgia with Brain Surge on this one.
Dude, can we just talk about, too, that very last round where they had to step on the tiles in a particular order? How much that would piss you off. Yeah, because it's like, how easy it is, and you still can't get it. But, yeah, Brain Surge, like you said, nostalgic for sure. Okay, this one goes back to Mike here. So, this is going to be number 4 here. Yep, take it away. Yeah, those are really good lists. Everyone did really good that round.
Ooh, we have best adult cartoons here.
Oh boy, you were in a prime position here
Yes,
at the
sir.
top because there's a lot that people debate online about what is the number one. So let's see what Mike says.
So my number one and my first pick here in this category for the draft is going to be Family Guy.
Whoa.
Family Guy, Family Guy, Family Guy.
Coming in
You know,
hot.
it's just got so many funny moments. Family Guy, man. No show makes you laugh harder than Family Guy, I feel like. It's so funny. Gotta be number one.
Well said.
All right. For me, first one, obviously, besides Family Guy, you can't talk about adult cartoons without talking about South Park. I mean, who didn't grow up in the 90s or the early 2000s watching South Park secretly late at night? You know, just absolute nostalgia with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. For my number three, if there was like a Mount Rushmore of cartoons, you gotta have Family Guy, gotta have South Park, gotta have The Simpsons, right? That's the obvious next choice. So I'm taking that as my first play here. And then for my second one here, I don't know if this would actually conclude the Mount Rushmore, but it definitely would in my heart as far as the top four go. Bob's Burgers here.
Yes,
Lauren Bouchard,
amazing.
absolute legend here in the field of animation and with adult animation specifically. And that show has kind of been a sleeper hit. It didn't really start off as big as it was. Kind of gradually took its time getting to where it is now, but now it's undeniable and super iconic. Back to Matt here
All right, so for me,
second
one, I'm going to go with another one that not a lot of people have really heard of, but in recent years growing as a cult classic, Home Movies.
Yes.
Great
Sean
answer.
Great fucking show. Another great Lauren, I think he did that show, right? And
Yep,
Sean
Lauren
Benjamin
Bouchard.
also was on that show, so
Yeah.
absolute classic show.
That's an awesome pick here.
I think I got two absolute bangers here. These are two of my personal favorites here coming up next. First here, I'm going to go with Futurama. This is such a really good show. Fry, Bender is like the funniest character. I fucking love Bender. He's awesome. And then also, give me another classic, stupid, idiot little cartoon in Beavis and Butthead. Another great classic one that just makes you smile and one of my personal favorites.
Undeniable.
Alright, so for me, a third one here, I'm going to go with something very obscure since I know a lot about these really obscure adult cartoons and go with Committed here. Classic Canadian show that not a lot of people have ever heard of. No one's really talks about it, but it is truly something special, and I definitely recommend it if you have not seen it. So that's going to be my third pick here.
Matt, when he gets into a category that he knows a lot about, he pulls out the deepest of deepest cuts. I absolutely love it. All right, for my number three here, I'm expecting eye rolls from you too because I know you're not a fan of this one, but I really like it, and it's one of Netflix's biggest shows. It's got to be Big Mouth here. We got to go with Big Mouth. I mean, come on. It's got the spinoff now with Human Resources. It's one of their top rated. It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes here. It's an undeniable classic for a reason, guys, and it's got a killer cast. So can't deny that one. And then for my number four here, I'm actually going to go with one that's more recent here. One that actually Matt turned me on as part of the Fox Animation Domination lineup. I'm going with Duncanville here. Duncanville's
Alright, that's
really
a solid
grown on
one.
me. At first I was kind of like, this is, not super interesting. It's kind of a little cliche at times and, kind of rips off some other adult cartoons, but I really grew to love it. And the cast there, Amy Poehler, you got, Ty Burrell as well. You got Wiz Khalifa in a supporting role, which is awesome as well. It's just a lot of fun, and that's really what all these shows boil down to.
All right, so for me, another one that is a cult classic. Now, you cannot talk about classic adult cartoons without talking about Clone High here.
Damn.
It's getting that reboot
Excellent
soon.
pick.
It's been talking, about, there's been a lot of talk about that show recently. Obviously JFK, Abe Lincoln, Gandhi, it's all those classic characters. Just absolutely amazing show, Clone High.
All right, so I can't believe this show fell all the way to me this low. This is one of the biggest and most popular adult cartoons, and that's going to be American Dad here. American Dad was Stan, Steve, Roger. They're absolutely hilarious. Seth MacFarlane, funny, super funny. And then also, give me King of the Hill here. King of the Hill is a classic show. Bobby, Hank Hill is classic. Bobby is classic.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought Matt would take American Dad at some point. So
Yeah,
I'm kind
I
of
was
surprised
shocked,
he didn't take it. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
A lot of people at work are always quoting that "damn it, Bobby" line, but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. My fifth one here, another very obscure one that not a lot of people know about, but it's very good nonetheless. Bob and Margaret here. Absolutely love that show. It's so funny to me, and just can't get enough of it yet. So
Yeah,
Bob and
I'll
Margaret
take it
here.
up. All right, for number 5 here, I mean, you can't talk a list about adult cartoons without mentioning this one. Again, the three of us are not that big on it, but just for its impact and its legacy, Rick and Morty, guys, we have to throw it on here somewhere, or else we're gonna just absolutely get murdered in the comments. So let's throw it on there. Yeah, that will round it out for me. All right, Matt's gonna start out round 5 here. So, yep, with. Man, you have no hesitation here with
All right,
these.
Breaking Bad characters.
Yes, sir.
That's a big one.
All right.
This is going to like dictate how the rest of the round is going to go based on what he says first. I think that's how this one's going to play out.
All right, for me first, I'm going to go with Tuco here. One
Really?
of the best villains on the show, one of the best characters on the show, and he's been in some of the best episodes as, like, obviously Grill is the best episode, so...
Damn, I love
Gotta go with
Tuco.
Tuco.
I wouldn't have picked him first, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how that's going to bode for you, Matt. For me, number 1, it's not the obvious pick. He is my favorite character, and I have good reasoning to pick him. I got to go with Saul. Saul Goodman, man. Saul Good. Because here's my reasoning, right? He was the one to get the spinoff, which is arguably better than the original show itself. And that's pretty undeniable in my eyes as being a first draft pick. So Saul Goodman here, absolutely. Giving Mike a prime position here 2 in a row.
Okay, so for this, I know you guys are yelling at your screen right now. Take the 2 main characters, but man, give me Hugh back now. Hugh,
I knew someone was going to say it. I knew he was going to...
reasonably, Hugh was such a legend. You know, I had to pick him for the memes. He is so funny, so iconic. Who doesn't love Hugh? Hugh is amazing. Lavelle Crawford's awesome. But here, with the second pick, I will take Walter here. It can go either way.
Heisenberg himself.
I'm going to go Walter, the main character, so much depth, and he's so good.
Yeah, that's a strong one. For me, I will pick up the slack and go with the one that I'm sure 99% of people wanted Mike to take. Give me Jesse, of course. I mean, that's a super strong one. And actually, thinking about it, Saul and Jesse have really good chemistry as well, no pun intended. They have some really excellent scenes together as well, so I'm really proud of that pick. Sending it back to Matt here.
All right, so next one here associated with Tuco, gotta go with Hector, man. Hector
Hector is up there, one of the goats.
Bro, his whole fucking list is going to be the Salamancas, bro. The whole list.
Arguably the funniest scene in Breaking Bad history, that scene in Face Off with the letter chart.
Yeah.
I was trying to spell out after you. Like, you cannot deny that is one of the best scenes in Breaking Bad history.
That's a good one.
So definitely
That's a
going
good
with
one.
Hector here. Another one I'm going to go with Rest in Peace Combo here.
Yes.
One of the best supporting
Underrated.
side characters. Just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's a really strong one. For me, my next pick, I don't have a villain yet, so give me Gus, man.
Okay.
We got to see Gus at some point. I mean, arguably better than Tuco. I personally like Tuco more a little bit. I think that's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I mean, the Gus-Walt rivalry in season 4 is one of the best in TV history. There's no denying that.
All right, so this guy, I was actually scared that he wasn't going to fall back to me, but he did. My personal favorite character on the entire show, give me Mike Ehrmantraut here.
Yeah.
Mike is a badass. I love Mike, man. He has so many great scenes. Mike is a legend. And with my next pick here, man, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball in here. Give me Skinny Pete, bro. Skinny Pete, bro. Him and Jesse's relationship and Badger, bro, Skinny Pete is unmatched. Give me Skinny Pete.
Yeah, I like that. While we're on the topic of side characters, this one as well for my next pick, a little unorthodox, but I really like her relationship with Jesse. I'm going to go Jane.
Okay.
I'm going to go Jane. I love Kristen Ritter as an actress. I think she did an awesome job. And just their whole arc together in season 2 I thought was really sweet, really well done. Everything was just brought together really good. So back over to Matt here to round out his roster of 5.
Next one for me, I can't believe no one said it yet. Gotta go Hank, man. Hank
Yeah.
is iconic, bro.
Hank Schrader,
one of the
baby.
best characters on the show for sure. And
That's
then
good
number
one.
5 here, I don't know. We're running out of the good characters.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Definitely, I'm not gonna say Marie here. or Ted, but
Ted would be like the very, very last pick, bro.
Yeah.
I would take Jaleel White as an extra before I take Ted, bro. Fuck that shit. Dog, I can't support the Ted. I can't support the Ted. Ted, no.
I guess I'm gonna go with.
Do you want to look at the reference list just for?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone out there. I guess I'm gonna go with the Salamanca twins because I did
Damn, I
say
really wanted them.
Tuco and Hector, so it is in the same universe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a strong one. I was just looking at the reference list. I'm surprised that no one said this. As far as the comic relief characters, bro, Walt Jr., come on, the king of the Breakfast Club. We gotta take him. MJ Mitty, absolutely awesome actor as well. Just really inspiring how he was able to overcome his disabilities and really make something of it. And character's really fun. So, yeah, Walt Jr. to round me out. And Mike, it's the last pick.
And with my last pick here, I'm going to go with someone who doesn't have a lot of screen time, but this guy was just so memorable in the little moments that he had, and RIP to him in real life. I'm going to go with Ed the Disappearer here. So iconic. Personally for me, you know, he has a really big role in El Camino as well, if you've seen that. And rest in peace, Robert Forster. You know, very unorthodox pick there, but I love me Ed. I love me some Ed. He has a lot of cool lines. I love his interactions with Walter when Walter's at the cabin, of course. I like Ed a lot. I think he's very underrated.
Yeah, that's a really strong one to end with, man. Dude, now that I'm looking at it, there's so many characters that we didn't say. Like, if we had a sixth pick, I would have picked QB. Would have been my next one, man.
Yeah.
Patrick QB, Bill Burr.
I was
Love
gonna
him.
take the Salamanca twins as my last,
Yeah.
as like my last, like combine them as one, but that was a good pick, man.
Yeah, this honestly could go either way. I think this is the most competitive round that we've seen thus far, honestly. All right, moving into round number 6 here. So we're halfway through. We got halfway to go here. I get to draw first on this one, and for this category, it is going to be the best kids cartoons now. So we had the best adult cartoons, now we got kids here. And similarly, as I said with the Nickelodeon shows here, I mean, you gotta take SpongeBob first. There's just no denying it. Yeah. Maybe some people do think that it's like a little bit, you know, cliche or whatever because they play it all the time, but I mean, SpongeBob in the early days, undeniable. All right, go for number one.
All right, for me here, I'm going to take another one that's an absolute classic here. We're going to go with the regular show. Classic from Cartoon Network there.
That's a good one.
All right, for me, you already know what I'm gonna say. Gotta go with Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Damn, I like that.
I mean, they're talking about a movie now with Zoe Deschanel and some other people, so look forward to that. Second one here, I'm gonna go with. It's a good one. How about Arthur? Let's go, Arthur. We gotta get PBS Kids in the running somewhere in here. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of PBS shows in here eventually for this category. It's back over to Mike now.
Okay.
Number 2.
So here, I'm going to take one that I took in one of the earlier categories, Fairly Odd Parents, man. I think it's just a very, very underrated show and one that doesn't get talked about enough for that Nickelodeon phase that it had.
You definitely don't want to mention, you know, the modern day Fairly Odd Parents show, the live action stuff, or strictly cartoons, right, as the category would say. All right, for my next 2 here, I'm surprised that this one wasn't brought up already. I thought this was an obvious one. Total Drama.
Wow.
Gotta take Total Drama, man. I mean, that's one of Cartoon Network's best. Some people might even argue it's better than regular show over Adventure Time. I mean, it's definitely up there. Easily one of the best Canadian cartoons as well. And while we're on the topic of Canadian cartoons, give me the Berenstain Bears. I love the Berenstain Bears here. Both iterations of it from 85 or 2003, both are super awesome in my eyes. Great voice cast there. That one is a childhood favorite of mine. All right, send it back to Mike here.
All right, here. Wow, we have so many different options we can go with here. But honestly, this one might not be the popular, because it is very popular, but it's one that, I mean, if you have a kid from ages like 0 to 5, you gotta show them Sesame Street. It's one of the goats.
Yeah.
It's one of the goats.
Say that.
It's one of the goats.
Man.
Like, it might not be for everyone once you get older, but for being like
For like preschool.
For preschool, it's like the
absolutely.
perfect show. It's gone on forever.
Yeah,
Give
that's
me
an
that.
awesome choice, man.
All right, so for me, I totally forgot about this show and I said Arthur, but I gotta go with Gravity Falls. I mean, it's clearly one of the best. Clearly is the best show
I
on
was.
television.
I didn't want to say anything because I would have snatched it from
Totally.
you, but I was
Yeah.
like, "How is that not your first choice?" That's
Good
crazy.
thing about it. And then second one here, I'm gonna go with another great Disney XD show. Go with Star versus the Forces of Evil.
I like that.
If you grew up in that timeline, you know that show. You know how amazing it is. So
Michael C. Hall.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah. Mike.
Yeah, Matt definitely piqued my interest here earlier with Hey Arnold, another just classic one from that Nickelodeon.
All right, rounding out this category, still so many left on the board that haven't yet been said. And for my number 4 pick, definitely got to go with another classic PBS kids show, Curious George. Man, how can you not love Curious George here? Easily one of the best on PBS Kids, as I just mentioned there, but also just as far as like life lessons go and it being very educational as well. That's one of the biggest, sort of factors when it comes to a lot of these cartoons, these kids' cartoons at least, is their educational moral factor, and that's a really good one in my opinion when it comes to that factor of it. And then for my last pick here, I'm actually going to go with the Disney Channel circuit as well and go with Kim Possible. That's actually one that we grew up with.
Yes.
I really, really enjoy that one. Again, that's another one. You got to avoid the live action stuff for it. Believe me, the movie that recently came out with Allison Hannigan is just awful. I just can't defend that at all. But the classic cartoon is one of the childhood favorites of mine.
All right, and for my last pick from this category, give me Adventure Time here. This is one that is another classic Cartoon Network show, right up there with regular show. These two were always battling it out. It was just so well done. So many people absolutely enjoy this one. So
Interesting. All right. Matt, finish
All
it
right,
up.
so for me, I'm gonna go with one of the best Cartoon Network shows of the 2000s, one of the funniest shows of all time. Give me Chowder. I love Chowder. Chowder is so freaking funny. So definitely gonna round that up.
We got a little Nas X fan
yeah.
here. I like it.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. All right, for round number 7, passing it back to Mike here to pick our next category here. We're getting down to the wire, and it's been a really good game so far. I think everyone's had equal opportunity.
the worst TV shows.
Ooh, flipping the switch here. So
All
you
right.
gotta think awful. All right.
So my first pick, and very cliche though, give me Caillou, man. Fuck Caillou. Fuck that kid, bro. So many issues with him, man. Just can't stand him, can't stand the show. Horrible. Do not show that to anyone.
Yeah.
The fact that Cartoon Network is actually playing it now on their little preschool block is just so confusing to me, because I think anyone with a brain would know that that's a bad idea to just show Caillou to anyone. But anyways, my first pick here, I'm going to go with one of the most hated shows of all time on television history. I'm going to go with Heel Honey, I'm Home. Terrible show. Didn't even get past the first episode. It was so bad.
Dude, I didn't even think of that. That is such a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a perfect answer. Because, that is, undefendable.
Yes,
Yeah, that's...
indeed.
God, that's a good one. Well, now I'm embarrassed. I didn't even think of that. Well, he said it anyway. But, nothing can top that. But I'm going to go with the most horrid, abominable show to ever hit Nickelodeon. I don't even want to say the name. You guys already know what it is. It's made by you-know-who. We don't even have to. Just throw it on screen there. We're just going to ignore it. Because I can't talk about that show anymore. And then for my second pick here, I'm going with what was formerly my least favorite show before I saw that piece of shit that you see right there on screen, Drew Carey Show. I mean, that's an obvious
Indeed,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go with another really hated spin-off here. I'm going to go with Baywatch Nights here. Terrible show. I've never even seen the original with David Hasselhoff, but I know that Baywatch Nights is awful, and I've heard terrible things about it, so do not watch it.
That's a really good
Deep
pick.
pick, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, with my next 2 picks here, give me one of the lowest rated on IMDb, Santa Inc. here, HBO, man. Wow, what a just disaster and horrid show that was. The next one here, I'm going to go with one of the crappiest reality shows, man. Give me Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Just, I can't stand their family, and just, there's so many problems with them. I'm so glad that they finally got rid of the show,
Yeah.
because I can't stand seeing them.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, so you can't talk about bad reality shows without bringing up Fear Factor.
Whoa.
At least in my opinion, that is easily the worst reality show of all time. So definitely got to talk about that one on my list.
Yeah, that's a perfect one because you are like the most hated, biggest against it there. All right, for my next two here, I'm in a prime position. I'm actually shocked that this one wasn't said beforehand, and there's a reason why it wasn't put on the Nickelodeon shows. Fanboy and fucking Chum Chum, dude. That shit is cancerous, bro. And that shit is one of the reasons why Nickelodeon suffered so badly in the 2010s. I love it with all my heart, but Nickelodeon choosing to take this shit over Adventure Time? Are you fucking kidding me, bro? That is a decision that someone got fucking fired for immediately. Thrown out on the street, living outside of a cardboard box. For number 4 here, switching gears a little bit, I'm going with more of a web show, but we're counting it as TV. It does have an IMDb page, and on said page has the lowest possible score of IMDb, 1.0. It's Attaway General. It is considered the worst web show, the worst medical show, which is already a genre that some people at this table find horrid in and of itself, but this shit is god-awful. It's tweeny bopper drama. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
All right, for me, number 4 here, definitely forgot about actually the bad Nickelodeon shows because I was just thinking about all the really horrible sitcoms out there. But I gotta roast Sanjay and Craig here. Sanjay and Craig is easily the worst Nickelodeon show in my opinion, even more than Henry Danger, more than Fanboy and Chum Chum, more than any of that shit because that show is god awful. So definitely putting that on my list.
I'm gonna go with Hype House here. This is oh my god. I'm gonna go with Hype House. This is like a bunch of shitty TikTok creators, Netflix show that they actually ended up picking up. Get out of here. Yeah. And then my other pick, I'm shocked Matt hasn't said this because I think this is Matt's least favorite cartoon, at least of all time, Angela Anaconda here.
Yeah.
Just the animation is the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
All right, to close it
Take
out,
it home.
another horrible sitcom, another horrible remake of that 80s show.
Yeah.
So
That's
bad we don't even need
perfect.
to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a really good example as well for like the more live action stuff. All right, closing it out here, one category that we haven't seen yet on this particular round is game shows, and I'm going with the worst game show of all time here, Big Fan, dude.
Yes.
AKA stalking / standing the show. It's absolutely abhorrent. If you want more info on it, check out our show of roasting the worst TV shows. We talk about almost all these shows, I'm pretty sure. This is just a retelling of that video. But yeah, absolutely awful. Big Fan is going here as my number 5. For round number 8 here, Matt getting to start it up here. We only have 3 categories left, so let's see what we
Best
got.
TV actors.
All right, actors, and you get the first pick.
So for me, starting off, one of the best dramas I've ever seen in my life. Gotta go with David Duchovny, man. Californication, X-Files, just cannot deny he is fucking god tier.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so everyone's thinking, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows the obvious choice. I really don't want to say him, though. I want to challenge myself. I know Mike is just biting at the chance to say him. So, you know what? I'll give you that one. I'll go with Aaron Paul.
Okay.
I'll trade it in. I'll go with Aaron Paul. I had Jesse on my list over Walt anyways, so I do like him a lot. All right, go ahead.
You already know. Bryan Cranston here. My favorite actor of all time. Absolutely love him in anything that he does. Drama, sitcom, movie, anything. TV, movie, media related. He is amazing. And then also, let me get another obvious pick, but someone who has won under the radar because he passed away in 2013. James Gandolfini.
That's a good
Praised as one of the best actors, and he does a phenomenal job on The Sopranos. He gives one of the best acting performances, I think.
Yeah, that's a really strong one. I mean, you gotta respect the big man with the dramas and such. You know, the anti-heroes, right? The characters they portray. But let's not forget about our comedy actors too. And one of my all-time favorites from my favorite show of all time, How I Met Your Mother, going Jason Segel.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Because I think he's got more of a range there. You got, of course, How I Met Your Mother, but you also got Freaks and Geeks, of course, is phenomenal. He's done some voice acting here and there. He's just an all-around super talented dude.
All right, so for me, we talk about Bryan Cranston. The other great show they did, Malcolm in the Middle. Got to go with Frankie Muniz here. Child star in the early 2000s. Everyone that grew up in that time knows Frankie Muniz, quoting the hell out of that show. So definitely going with him. And then for another one, I'm gonna go with Wilmer Valderrama. Easily the best character on that '70s show. Fez, just all around hilarious. So
That's really funny. While we're on the topic of Malcolm, real quick, did you hear about potentially they're remaking it?
did not know.
Have you do you have any updated thoughts on that at all?
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Have to see who's behind it and what the premise is going to be.
Yeah, definitely. Because I never really watched it as much as you guys, so it's just kind of interesting to see. All right, back to the game here for number 3 here. I am really glad that this man came my way because this is another one that I thought was going to get snatched up early on. Terry Crews, man, 100% between, of course, everybody hates Chris as Julius, one of the most memorable characters. Then you got him on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, of course, as the sergeant is awesome. He's been on The Walking Dead. He had a recurring role on Side Hustle, as I talked about earlier. Absolutely love this dude to death. He has to be on my list somewhere.
All right, so for me, next 2 picks here, I got to go with 2 people with very similar names. I'm going to go with Michael C. Hall. Love him in Dexter and 6 Feet Under, 2 of my favorite shows, and he is amazing in both of those. And also give me Michael K. Williams as well. Omar Little on The Wire. Absolutely phenomenal. One of my favorite performances of all time.
That's interesting. All right, I'll take him then if you were. I thought you were going to say Neil Patrick Harris in there somewhere, so I'll take him there. Of course, Barney Stinson.
All right, so for me, another great comedian, Big Bang Theory, gotta go with Jim Parsons here. I mean,
that's a good one.
Guy's a legend,
Yeah.
His performance on the show is absolutely amazing. And then 5th one, I'm gonna go with John Cryer here, 2.5 Men. Another great
Interesting pick.
pick. Not really though, but I mean, his performance is pretty good on the show, I guess.
I'll give you credit there because he's also on Supergirl, and he's got some dramatic acting under his belt. I'll give you that. Not who I'd have gone with, but fair enough. All right, rounding it out here for my number 5, I am going to go with, I think, a bit of a sleeper pick here because not many people know who this dude is, and I'm not even sure, honestly, how to pronounce his name. I think it's Bill Fagerbakke. But he's
Patrick.
on. So this is his roles. He's got Patrick on SpongeBob. That's who he plays.
Yeah.
He was the lead on Coach, one of the most celebrated sitcoms of the '80s, and then he also played Marvin on How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think that's a great resume here. Super underrated in my opinion. Rounding it out my list with him.
And for me here with my final pick, I'm going to go with John Lithgow here. Plays my favorite villain, probably my favorite villain of all time on Dexter here. And then his sitcom Third Rock from the Sun. Just the wide range of emotions that he brings out is so great. He just does a really great job, whether in drama or comedy.
Damn, that's a great pick. That I'm looking at Mike's list here. This is like his,
That is perfect,
legions
yeah.
of Avengers as far as the actors go, bro. Like literally checking off all the big shows on his roster there. So good picks, everybody. All right, we're coming down to the final 2 categories here. So this will be a pretty pivotal moment here as far as anyone watching in the comments to debate who has the lead up into this point. But for round number 9, let's take a look and see what we got. Oh, appropriate. We have the best TV actresses now. So switching gears here. I'm in a prime position to play this one first because, again, I think this is kind of an obvious one as far as this group goes on who to take first. It's got to be Kobe Smulders.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. There's just no denying that. Robin on How I Met Your Mother, and as well on Stumptown, American Crime Story, Impeachment. She was amazing and just an all-around super talented actress.
All right, and for me, I got to go with one of the actresses that's gotten so much praise this year, and she deserves it. Should have won an Emmy. I'm going to go with Ray Seahorn here from Better Call Saul. She is very underrated, and she's going to do a lot of great work in the future as well. Very underlooked, and now she's finally getting her recognition on such a big show.
That'll win you some votes in the comments, I'm sure.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go with 2 here. I got to go with, obviously, Allison Hannigan, How I Met Your Mother, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's good, yeah.
Can't deny it. Both great shows. And then I'm going to go with a completely different direction here. I'm going to go with Zendaya, man. Euphoria, as well as Shake It Up. If anyone ever remembers that show, it's nowhere near as good as Euphoria, but still a great show nonetheless.
I had both of those on my list. I can't believe you snatched them, man. It's good.
So here with my next pick, I'm gonna go with someone who I've seen a ton of shows from. She's done great work in both voice acting and, of course, live action acting. Give me Katie Sagal here in Sons of Anarchy, Married with Children, then also Futurama here. She does a great job and is in some of my favorite shows of all time. So,
Dude, I'm so glad that these next two came my way. I was going to pick Allison Hannigan, I just full transparency, but my other Him Yum gal, I got to go with Kristen Milioti, of course.
Yes,
I mean, literally the one person that I will always give a shot to. Like, no matter what show it is, no matter what genre it's in, if she is booked as one of the leads there, I'm giving it a watch. Most recently with The Resort, which is one of the best shows of this year. And then for number 3, Matt, I think you're going to be kicking yourself for this one. Kristen Schaal, man. Obviously one of the best voice actors of all time, but even more than that, just a super talented comedic actress. I mean, on Last Man on Earth as well, the live action stuff that she's done is top tier also. Sending it back to Mike.
all right, here. So another one who I really like her work in voice acting and live action. We'll go with Mila Kunis here on Family Guy as Meg, or on That 70s Show as Jackie. She always is someone who I think gives a really good performance, and she's been 2 of the biggest shows ever, and I think she definitely deserves the credit for it.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, for me, I'm going to go Linda Cardellini here.
Oh, damn.
Freaks and Geeks, Bloodline, as well
That's
as
such a good pick.
Wendy on Gravity Falls and CJ on Regular Show.
Yeah. And she was in ER too.
And
She was
ER, yeah.
awesome in that. So
And then another one here. I'm going to go Millie Bobby Brown on this one.
Damn.
Stranger Things.
Actress on the show.
yeah, that's a good one.
So for me, give me some Parks and Rec love here with Amy Poehler as Leslie Knope. Does a lot of great other roles as well. I know she's really big in SNL and other little side shows she's done. She's in Undeclared. That's a very underrated show where she has a part in. And Parks and Rec, such a great show, and she's one of the best on there.
Yeah. All right, rounding out these last 2 for me, prime position once again. I'm actually kind of kicking myself that I didn't think of her earlier. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, man. Got to give respect to the legends. I mean, Seinfeld, of course, is awesome. Veep is fantastic. She's just had so many. Yeah, well, no. That's her failed attempt. But, like, New Adventures of Old Christine, is a really solid show. There's just a lot of big, comedies that she's done. And then for my very final pick here, I mentioned her earlier when we were talking about Breaking Bad, but I got to go with Kristen Ritter on this one, playing Jane there. She's also in the very underrated Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, which is a really funny show. So really good, again, for both comedies and dramas here, kind of getting you a little bit of mixture there. Just a super all-around great actress.
All right, when looking here for the final actress, give me Jenna Fisher on The Office. I love her. She's like one of the best female characters on that show. As Pam and Jim are so awesome together, and she does a great job on that show. Easily by far the best female character from that show specifically.
All right, for me, if I can remember. I'll go with someone else. I'm going to go with Kristen Bell on this one.
Damn.
Good place, amazing performance. Can't top it. I think she was on Central Park. Don't quote me on that, but I think she was indeed on that show. So,
And
Last one. All right. So for this one, you just want to do it?
yep.
You want to start it? All right. Mike's going to kick off the last round here that we have.
So we have best HBO shows. So much to pick from.
Circling back, we started with Nickelodeon, we end with HBO. It's a natural progression. Kids to adults here. But what do you go with first?
All right, here. So
I think there's 3 really obvious choices, and you're not wrong picking any of them to start with, but give me Game of Thrones. I have been on the biggest Game of Thrones House of the Dragon kick. Game of Thrones is my first pick.
That's wild, man. I did not expect it. He opened the door. Go ahead.
I'm going to go with a completely different show here. I am not going with one of the big 3. I'm going to go with Flight of the Conchords here. Because that is one that I don't think anyone here would be picking. but it is a great show nonetheless, so definitely check it out.
Dude, this is fucking wild, bro. Like Matt coming in with the deep cut picks, dog. I get to pick the next two. This is, dude, I got so much power right now. Well, obviously, I gotta take The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yep,
just
yep.
like, you gotta take The Sopranos here. And then I think the other big one that Mike is thinking is another crime drama that I'm not actually gonna take.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave the door open. I'll see what Matt says in a minute, but I gotta go with just what my favorite show on HBO is, or one of at least. Gotta go with Barry.
Barry's
I'm going with Barry, bro.
awesome.
Barry's
Yes.
so good, and it's so funny, and it's got the mixture again of the comedy and action there. Bill Hader is amazing. Damn, should have picked him on the actor. I'm just realizing,
Yeah.
damn, I should have had him on my list, but yeah, I gotta go with Barry here. So it's back to Matt.
All right, for me, we were just talking about The Last Darn Gotta Go Euphoria.
Yeah.
That is such a good show, so definitely.
That's a strong one.
Going with that one.
All right, you guys are leaving the door open, wide open here for some of the best and my favorite shows of all time.
two big ones.
Another one that's in my GOAT of shows here that, of course, Nick was referring to, The Wire here. An absolutely amazing show. Like I said, one of the top three, I feel like, of all time. So, so great. And then also, I took Game of Thrones, so give me House of the Dragon here.
Yeah.
This was a really big show that popped off in 2022 with so many people talking about it and so many viewers tuning in each and every week.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about the dramas here, about all the big dramas, obviously, but can't talk about HBO without talking about comedies, and I think the best one that comes to mind is indeed Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Clearly, right?
Just don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Just let the
Not
show
much to
speak for
say.
itself. All right, I'm in the next position here. I get two picks here. So first, I'm going to actually retract my statement. Barry is not my favorite. This show is my favorite. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely going with it. I mean, here's the thing, man. It's totally in a different genre. I understand that it's not going to be for everybody. It's definitely on the political side. But, dude, the Emmy wins it's racked up is undeniable. It literally sweeps the late-night talk show game every single year without any competition. It's done that for the past 10 years here. There's no denying it. John Oliver, of course, another fantastic actor. He was also on Community as well.
Yeah,
There he's on,
yes, he
so
was.
it's a lot of fun there. All right, and then for my number 4 here, oh, this is where it gets tricky, you know, because you got to think competition here. I'm going to peek at my list here and see what else I had on here. Oh, I know one that we didn't say yet. Yeah, I just saw it. 6 Feet Under. Yeah. Mike was looking at me with the daggers, bro, because I had to take it so that he wouldn't end up with too good of a list here. Sending it back to Matt.
All right, this is one that a lot of people at work have nostalgia for some odd reason, but another classic drama here. I'm going to go with Oz on this one.
That's a really good one. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Okay, and with my final two here, I'm going to go with two of my personal favorites. Give me the two big Danny McBride shows. I'm going to go with Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals here. You could pick The Righteous Gemstones as well, but for me, so classic, so funny. The dark comedy is awesome with both of those shows.
That's a good one. I like that. It's super diverse.
So for me, final one here, I'm going to go with the show. I've actually never seen it personally, but I know many people talk about it as if it's one of the best shows to come out in recent years. Another show with Flight in the name, The Flight Attendants.
Yeah.
Been butchered completely by HBO Max, but still good show nonetheless.
Yeah, I had that on my list as well. All right, I'll round mine out with another comedy here. I think Matt kind of alluded to it. Curb is definitely one of the big ones, but another one with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, of course. We got to go Veep here. Veep rounding out my list for HBO. So yeah, that's a really strong category, man. It definitely didn't go the way I thought. But that'll end our picks here for the mock drafts TV topics. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Again, let us know in the comments which one you thought had the overall best assortment of items here. I mean, just based on you three, you guys confident in your choices there?
Yeah.
And that kind of trolled a little bit, but it's all in good fun, of course. But yeah, let us know there. Signing off here. Anything you guys want to say before we head out?
No, just make sure to cast your vote in the comments. We
Yeah.
definitely want to see that.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear from you. These guys' channels will be linked in the description. Definitely go over, give them a sub. What future videos do you have planned? Anything special coming up?
Yeah, so if you're a big fan of The Walking Dead, I'm going to be doing a lot of The Walking Dead content as the show is wrapping up. I'm going to try and post some more TV series reviews. If you're into learning about the entire series and watching reviews on that, I have about 10 videos up on that. Looking to do more of those. And, of course, what my channel is most well known for, the characters tier list. More of those will be coming out in the future.
All right, good stuff. Matt, what about you? Any big projects in the works?
I got some. They will come out when they are officially done.
Very cryptic.
No
I love it.
details, yeah.
Yeah,
It'll just be a surprise drop whenever
Keeping it
the
under
next
wraps.
video comes out.
Yeah. All right. As for me here, you guys know the drill. Tuesdays and Fridays, new uploads here. We got music and TV related topics coming out here. Definitely be checking in on the ABCs of Rock series, dropping every Friday here. Really excited about that. Otherwise, just have a good rest of your night whenever you're checking this out. And thanks for watching, everybody.